Of the architecture and design entrance exams, of all the architecture and design entrance exams, the last one to be declared is Nata 2023. So on Sunday morning in the newspapers, Council of Architecture had published when exactly the 3 Nata exams for the year 2023 would be conducted. Hello everyone, this is Suraj and you are with THiNC Institute of Design, and we are going to briefly touch through the examination Nata and the dates wherein these have been mentioned and these would be conducted. Now, talking about Nata, Nata is basically a aptitude test, the national aptitude test in architecture. When I talk of aptitude test, it's purely an aptitude test and it basically depends on the questions, the MCQs or MSQ type of questions that are being asked, and usually they do not ask the drawing type of questions, at least for the last 2 or 3 years. The exam has been conducted since 2006, and for the last 10-15 years, this has been the same way. Now, the reason why we have come live today is to let you know that Nata 2023 notification has been released. Very interestingly, it has only been released in the newspaper. So slowly it will be coming up, it will be updated in the websites also. But because it has come up in the newspaper, within a few days, the registration and application process, information brochure, all these things would be started. But currently, what are the things that we have in our hand? That is what we would be discussing right now. First thing is there would be 3 examinations. That is, Nata 2023 would be conducted 3 times in this particular year, just like how it was conducted in the previous years. The first Nata exam is going to happen on the 22nd of April. The second one is going to happen on the 28th of May. And the third one, with a good amount of gap of around 1.5 months, the third one would be conducted on the 9th of July in 2 sessions if it's required. That is morning session and evening session. Now, what happens if there are 3 examinations? Why is it that 3 times Nata is conducted? Or as a candidate, can you write it 3 times? So the basic answer for this is that every student has the right to decide on how many number of times he or she wants to write it. So what happens if you write it 3 times? The average of the best 2 scores of yours would be taken, and that would be your Nata score out of 200. Let's say, for example, you are writing all the 3 Nata and you're getting good marks in 2 of them. The average of that would be combined and taken, and that would be your Nata score. The second option is writing 2 Nata exams. Out of the 3, if you are selecting any 2, and if you are writing the 2 Nata exams, the best out of those 2 would be taken. And the last option is to just write 1 Nata exam, and that would be your score. So basically, the point is that how many number of times you want to write Nata exam, you can decide, and it will be based on your decision that the Nata score would be coming up. So choose wisely. Now, moving on to the most important criteria. This is the eligibility criteria for B.Arch. For joining a B.Arch course in India, what is the eligibility criteria? There are basically 2 criteria. If you're somebody who is doing your 12th standard, or if you're someone who has already done your 12th standard, you need to have at least 50% aggregate. That is, all the subjects put together, you need to have at least 50% mark in that. Along with that, secondly, you should have physics, chemistry, and mathematics as part of that, and combined physics, chemistry, mathematics percentage should be 50. So 50% aggregate and 50% in physics, chemistry, and maths. This is if you are a 12th standard student or a 10+2 scheme student. If you have passed it also, you can write. If you passed it also, you can definitely apply for B.Arch. Now, the other option is, let's say, for example, you're somebody who has done your diploma. So the 10+3 diploma would need you to do a course in mathematics. So mathematics has to be a part of the subject, and you also need to have at least 50% aggregate in total. So these are the 2 different criteria. If you want to get into B.Arch, please note these are not the criteria for Nata. This is the criteria for B.Arch exam. This is the criteria for getting into B.Arch in any of the colleges in India. Now, moving on to the outline of Nata. Now, Nata is basically, as I said, an aptitude test. It would have 125 questions around. Maximum marks of usually maximum marks of 200. Duration would be 180 minutes. There won't be usually negative marks, and that's one of the greatest positives that you will find in Nata exam. So on a worst case scenario also, even if you don't know the answer, you can go full throttle and go for a calculated guess. Usually in the Nata exams, you used to have 1 mark, 2 mark, or 3 mark questions. Now, based on the kind of marks, you can give weightage. The examination questions would usually be in English, and some of the questions may also be there given in regional language. Now, there are different types of questions that could be asked, ranging from the very simple multiple choice questions that you have seen many times, even in your school days, to multiple select type questions, preferential type questions, numerically typing questions, then the typical match the following, then observation type questions wherein images would be given and you will have to identify certain questions. So there are various types of questions. We would be coming up with detailed sessions in the further videos. So for further clarifications, please do subscribe to the channel. Now, moving on, we have our new batches that are coming for Nata and also JEE paper 2. You could either join the Nata batch or JEE batch, or you could also take up a combined batch wherein you're focusing on Nata and JEE. To JEE, from my memory, I think it's in between 6th and 12th of April. That's also a good exam for architecture, wherein you get into the best premier institutes, like, let's say, for example, CFTIs, NITs, NIT Calicut, NIT Trichy, and all. We have new batches from on the 20th of March, 29th of March, 3rd of April. Most of your examination might be going on. So if you're interested, you can also pre-book your seats in this number, 8086111488. Now, when we are talking about this exam, when do I start applying, right? If I'm ready to apply, how do I do that? So the most important and fundamental website for this is Nata, www.nata.in. Now, you go on to this website. This is where you will find the information brochure. This is where you will find the dates, results, all these things would be coming here. But as of now, this hasn't been updated. Nata typically does this. So in most of the cases, their up-to-date notification would initially come up in the newspaper. So all this that you can see in this particular page is pertaining to 2022. The other website, which will have less amount of data related to Nata, but still important, is Council of Architecture's website. So you can also keep checking these two websites. However, it will be in the Nata's website, www.nata.in, wherein you will get the notification and application form and things like that. Okay, so these are the major things that we had to talk about. Now, for further details, or if you want some clarity, further clarity, this is a very brief video about Nata 2023. So if you want to know further details or things about this, if you want any sort of counseling, irrespective of whether you are a THiNC student or not, you can definitely contact us at the numbers and also at the Instagram ID that's provided here. In this particular page, it's not just the results and exam notifications and all. We also have quizzes that would come up, just like one of the quizzes that we had today. You can find the notifications and updates there. You can also find educational content, which is like, let's say, for example, I think brick bonds. Yeah. So educational content would also be there. And any other further doubts that you have, you can contact us at this number. You can just, you can DM us at this Instagram ID. Okay. So I think that would be, this is a very brief video about Nata 2023. We would be coming up with further sessions, explainers and live classes and all. So if there are any further questions, please post it below this particular video. Okay. So that would be it in this particular session from THiNC Institute of Design. Please do not forget to subscribe the channel and stay tuned for more updates. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, host.